You're live. Hello, Roj. Are you there? Hello. Roj, I think so. Your internet is not stable. Um, Hello. Welcome, everyone. This is another episode of RF Studio webinars. We would be hosting a special guest today who is already live with us. The topic today is software engineering staff augmentation, um, a new model, an emerging new models. We will be discussing about them and some of the amazing work that our partners are doing. Um, I'm Max Raza. I'm the growth hacker. With us, we have a special guest. I've kept it a secret for now, but we will be revealing that soon. And with us, we have Ruj, who is also a growth hacker. She's having some internet issues, but I hope she will be fine and will be with us very, very soon. Okay, um, let's begin. Why outsource? This is a big question. There are a lot of companies at different stages would be asking themselves if they should be outsourcing or not. And, we would be looking at some of these motivators behind outsourcing and how it helps you basically to scale operations and unlock value. Um, there are a lot of in-house challenges when it comes to managing work and deadlines and having compliance in place. There is definitely a skill gap. There is a definitely bandwidth gap. Limitations on that. The experts are working on making sure that the process is complying. So to outsource, hello. Okay, we can continue with the slides. Here's
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
are and to optimize productivity, profitability that businesses have outlined are expertise, ability. They want to have more hands on the deck to be able to execute more and uh, enterprises, cost cutting. So there could be many types of companies that would be outsourcing, and all these companies in actual. So the outsourcing key challenges remain to be finding the perfect partner. If you don't have a perfect partner, you would definitely run into a lot of troubles. You would definitely be facing some service provider flexibility issues, and there will be definitely communication issues as well if you won't find the perfect partners. So there are definitely contractual challenges in this as well, and retaining key personnel becomes an issue over long term, which companies prefer to do. So different augmentation models, which are also available, an extended team approach or an outsized personnel on a temporary basis to augment some capacity of the organization, or temporarily hiring in a short time period. And lastly, the dedicated team model, which we would be discussing in very detail and what are the modalities involved. So some of the opportunities in dedicated models are to have some people in-house, or to have an independent service provider. Independent service provider is something that is most commonly used in outsourcing models. Strategic partnerships are only unlocked when there is core competency on with you, and then there is a hybrid model as well in place in the market. Adnan is with us, so I would like to hear your thoughts. In your view, which one of these models is best in your view?
Ji, Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, my internet is a little shaky right now. But yes, actually, all these models are good enough, and it depends on the client, on the way you're working. For some people, independent service provider suits them. For some people, it's a hybrid which suits them. Depending on the project where you do it, but definitely going ahead with the service with the staff augmentation, that plays a major role, especially as the things are moving ahead. But yeah, you don't have all the expertise in house available, so you, instead of going for sourcing and hiring, you go for in the market, and you have the pool of the talent available, and then you pick and choose the tool from it from the pool and get your work done. But the models, the flavors, all flavors are available. Integration service provider is also available, strategic partner is also available, and hybrid is also available. So it all depends which flavor, what is your organization culture, and how you want to go ahead with that. That suits you, and then you can pick and choose that system and follow the system. Please.
Wonderful, wonderful. And if you look at the strategic outsourcing life cycle, there are different phases in terms of sourcing strategy and operating model, then having a market dialogue, opening up RFPs, RFIs, and then transitioning to an augmentation model. And definitely then there is transformation that needs to happen on both ends, on the service providers end and also within the organization who is acquiring these services. And to sustain delivery, there needs to be a lot of principles which we will be looking at in upcoming slides, which needs to be there to make sure that this kind of engagement is a success. I would like to empathize ICP, an ideal customer, which in this case is a dev lead based in Sweden. I have named it as a Noleto Polymer as a company. And what is their challenge is they need a quick replacement for a core team member which has left. And their technical specialist, they need a technical specialist in Node.js development. And the company HR department is saying they would need at least 6 to 8 weeks to fill that space. So there are a couple of questions that this dev lead would have in mind, that how quickly can my partner fill me this role? That would be, one of their priorities to make sure that they can immediately have somebody on panel. And then there is obviously another question, that how do I make sure that the specialists are relevant if I am going into an outsourcing engagement? Would the quality of work be the same when I go into such an engagement? And would a traditional HR staffing would be equally fast, or would I need to partner? And lastly, what is the additional cost involved in filling this role? Would be another thing that John W. would have on his mind, who is trying to do a quick replacement of a core team member. Um, some of the benefits of staff augmentation, um, is one of them is cost reduction. The other one is to maintain quality, and staff flexibility is another big benefit. Can you add to this, Adnan, if you believe there is any other benefits in staff augmentation as well, which in your opinion would help a company outsourcing?
In my experience, cost reduction is one of the factor, but the main factor is to maintain quality, increase efficiency, and staff flexibility. These are the three main things which all the people who are doing it or doing the staff or the outsourcing are looking into it. Cost reduction, yeah, definitely it matters, but main thing their focus is to maintain quality and increase efficiency and adhering to their culture, and especially the staff flexibility, which a guy they're looking for a resource who can absorb into their culture. So that is the two three main things which I will take it on the decision making, the major thing on the decision making thing. But these are the more or less sum ups, the staff of the main top line benefits of staff augmentation which a company is looking. These are the four areas which are the top line. Yeah, please.
So, coming to the core part of the webinar, there are some very emerging working models which are taking place, and Adnan and I have been discussing some of these working models which are emerging in the market, and we would like to discuss more about it in the upcoming slides. So, the first one is dedicated teams, which can help companies to embark on growth projects. Um, there are different disruptive technologies that are more specialized. There are certain companies or certain group of people that are more experienced with those technologies. So having a dedicated team at your disposal to leverage those technology is definitely a big advantage for you as a company. The other thing is that there are certain business challenges that a company is facing, and a dedicated team can only solve that. It cannot be outsourced or be left over to an independent provider, because they definitely would have their own challenges. So needs to be mapped with certain business challenges. You assign something to a dedicated team for a certain project. Let's say there is a big waterfall project that needs to be done. So you can plug it into a dedicated team model, and at the output you would get to start full stack teams. You would get streamlined workflows,
And
reduce
yeah, and
concerns.
in our experience, dedicated team model is one model which is very a customer jump to it because it takes care of a lot of pressure off their mind when they have a dedicated team model sitting over there in the right technology, giving them the right results. So the customer becomes very mentally free, and he can focus on other challenges which is on his hand on site. So this becomes a very popular model of having a dedicated team available and sideline which knows the technology, knows the business challenges, understands the business challenges, and fully dedicatedly working towards that particular product and solution. Yes.
My favorite dedicated teams. It definitely helps to make the cohesion more possible for growth projects through dedicated teams. So this is an emerging model, which is getting very popular. Um, the next one is to go for product development partnerships. And Adnan, would you like to explain this model that your company is working on?
Yeah, this is basically for the startups, mostly focused on that. And this in this thing we are working on the cost plus equity model. So if there's a new idea coming in and we have the new idea, so we can work with you on a cost and equity model, and then we can help you in taking care of a lot of pressure from the for on the financial side, so you can focus on the other ecosystem then working on and being bothered about the cost of the development which is coming in. So it's also very popular, especially with the startups and with the new idea which is coming in. We are working with some old partners with the new idea that were coming in, so they want to have that cost plus equity model, especially with telcos. We are working with on them, so they want to have another VAP service coming into it. So this is what something which is very popular on this cost plus equity model. Please, Hassan.
Wonderful. And another model that is gaining traction in augmentation is distributed agile. So when industries definitely have big monolithic systems in place, it is impossible for them to get everybody, working in a single room. So they are open toward distributed agile. They're open toward development at scale, which is to have multiple scrums happening at multiple locations and then consolidating in a central repository at the end of the day, which is more like a component or feature development in a certain ISP or ISV model, and then it is getting integrated into a central location. Um, so distributed agile is also very popular in terms of when enterprises are venturing into corporate startups basically, and which helps them achieve velocity versus what their big board would not be able to do on their own. So these three models, what would you like to add, if any, on these three new models which are emerging, Adnan?
See, again, the models are again designed in a way which towards clients' requirement, whatever experience. That there are different categories of clients which are really looking at whatever you are doing. If you are into a big setup and you are developing and you are having agile teams who are working, so we can attack that. That we can go with that same culture with you. And if you want to go on a dedicated team, you have a module you want to outsource the dedicated team. You have again, we have the right solution for you with the right available dedicated team for that particular project. And in the same way, the third one is can you go back the slide, please? This is for the startups. For the new idea, new startups. This cost plus equity model. Going ahead in this thing. Yes, and please.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Adnan. So there is a complete technology stack needed to maximize growth. Maximizing results with right technology would mean you would run into staff augmentation in one way or another. You may have some languages that you cannot speak. You may have some new front end stack that is picking pace, and you want to tab into that, or you have some new mobile development to be done and your in-house team is at capacity, or you're looking into modernization of your stack and you're looking into cloud technologies but you don't have an in-house expert to architect that, or you have your growing data storage needs which are unmet by the in-house data structures and warehouse ecosystem. So you want to kind of quickly expand that capacity and warehouse into multi-location repositories. So, these are a couple of use cases where staff augmentation would be really beneficial for all sort of companies to unlock value. And then there is definitely two very unique propositions with the Sironic in place. That is DevOps tools and specializations in technologies like Hyperledger and Salesforce, which really helps to implement at scale, and then also have DevOps and continuous integration in place through their staff augmentation to maximize growth. Lastly, I would like to talk about growth hacking staff augmentation. What is growth hacking? You are already aware it's a combination of development and marketing. So, what RF Studio has been offering is some unique models in this growth hacking staff augmentation. We do the product validation, validate the problem, validate the problem solution fit, and then help you product market the product as well. So product validation is one of the services that we are offering to startups and initial stage companies. The another service that we have in our growth hacking staff augmentation is head of growth. So you have all the hands on the deck. You have multiple team members which are already working there, but you want to have somebody to strategize. So head of growth comes in that kind of engagement, and then definitely taking some cherry pickings from Adnan's dedicated teams model. We are also introducing dedicated growth teams through RF Studio, which would be working for your specific needs to develop the product, develop the market, and to launch something at scale. And then definitely last one is to basically do the capacity building. You don't want to outsource the head of growth, or you don't want to outsource the dedicated teams. You just want your in-house teams to be more equipped and be more enabled. So then we can do the capacity building workshops with you guys. And This is pretty much how we are offering growth hacking through staff augmentation. And there are a couple of principles behind software engineering staff augmentation success. And I would like to present this slide along with Adnan. The first one I would like to share is shared vision. If both side of teams have the shared vision, they are looking at the same problem in the same way, they would be able to achieve goals and deliver value to end users very quickly. Um, Adnan, would you like to highlight some other principles that are behind staff augmentation success?
No, this pretty much covers this. All is covered over here. But again, each of these points have a very significant impact on the success of the staff augmentation. Like if you like with the we work, we when once we get a project, then we the first thing we do is we need to share the vision, what exactly where we are heading towards it, and that vision understanding and sharing becomes the basis of all the planning which we are doing. Like again, as the project it proceeds with the gaps and everything within the planning and execution, it keeps on coming, and we keeps on adding more resources or more into this thing. The same goes for collaboration, governance, and structured team, change management, whatever, how you take all these points, they are all very, very important to have a successful staff augmentation experience for both the client and for us also. Because if we lack any of this thing, there will be a gap, and the client will be the guy who are doing the staff augmentation, outsourcing will not be satisfied, and even we our team will be not be satisfied. So it has to have all these things working in hand in collaboration to make the this thing successful, and to get the benefit, the right results out of it. Please.
Thank you, Nan. We have come to the end of our another exciting episode of the webinar. We would have some question answer sessions. So, Ruj, if you can go ahead. Can you type me the questions I can ask? I believe you still have bad connection. So one of the questions of the Nan is to what are the key factors to consider when finding the right partner? Uh, what would mean and what should be considered when looking for a right partner in outsourcing?
Sorry, your voice is breaking up. Please come again.
Um, the question one of the audience has asked is sure that we are dealing with the right partner. What are the factors to consider when finding an outsourcing partner?
Sorry,
Can you hear me, Adnan?
your voice is still breaking up. Sorry, my real apologies.
Oh, okay. I'm really sorry. My internet connection is also really bad today.
Uh,
Um, okay.
can you type me the question so I can answer?
Sure, I can tap you the questions. Beside hosting good sessions at our studio, this has been our first experience hosting a guest. So we have been a little bit nervous in this webinar today. But thank you, Adnan, for joining us. It's been a real honor to host you. Adnan is
Apologies for the very shaky internet connection today. I don't know what's happening.
yeah, same on my side. I missed with the introduction to you as well, and I just realized that.
No
uh,
problem.
and so let me introduce Adnan is basically a senior telecom consultant. He has his own EPC group, a consultancy group based in Islamabad for Sironic, and the sister concern Nitros basically looks at the software development and staff augmentation works. It's been a real honor to host you, Adnan, and thank you, Ruj. I know internet has been shaky today, but I hope we get a good recording at the end. And thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Let's call it a day. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to get the questions. All right, no problem.
Yeah. Okay. Take care.